Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to recap Issa Rae's Insecure Season 2, which was the season opener, Episode 1, which was titled Hella Great. Our girls Issa and Molly are back, and not much has changed. They're still looking for love, and they are still trying to maneuver through this game called love. So Issa is learning firsthand how the dating game works, and the front you have to put up, trying to actually pretend like you care about somebody that you met on a app on your phone, and usually these people are nothing like they pretend to be when they're on the app or what they say about themselves. So we have this little scene where Issa is going through all these dates and her mind is a million other places, and then she finally gets to the point where she's telling the guy like the answer really doesn't matter because this isn't going any further than where we are right now. And when the show actually opened up, she was sitting there talking to Lawrence, and I was like, oh, at least they're going to give it a try. But then we find out, with Issa, you never know if the scene is real or if she's fantasizing about something that she wished was happening. And this turned out to be one of her fantasies where, her and Lawrence were out on a date and they were talking about, what happened and giving it another try. But then all of a sudden she was like, huh, what did you say? And then it turned out to be this random guy that she was out on a date with. So it's extra hard getting over a failed relationship, no doubt about that. And when you're still living in the same apartment where the two of you live together or spent most of your time, it's even that much harder to get over. And I can remember being in my 20s and I had this one relationship where when we broke up, I was like so devastated, so devastated, so devastated. And as a matter of fact, his birthday is today. But anyway, so we broke up and I was so depressed. Like I was literally going through a state of depression and I was just like sick to my stomach. And I eventually ended up moving out of the apartment because it was just so many memories of him there that I just didn't want to be there anymore. And anyway, it bees that way sometimes. And so, Issa, I feel so sorry for her because, if I have to find a man on an app, then I'm just going to be single forever because I just can't see myself downloading the app on my phone and then flicking through it at these different men trying to decide which one I want, like I'm picking them out of a lineup or something. And I just feel sorry for young people that this is what it has come down to in order to find a man. So Issa arrives home and checks the mail, and she is so excited to find out that Lawrence has a notice for jury duty in the mailbox. And she also finds out that the apartment complex is under new management, so I'm thinking that's probably going to be an issue later on down the road. But anyway, she's singing and dancing and everything, and then one of her neighbors is like, you better not be messing with my mail. And she's like, oh no, it's me, Issa. I ain't messing with your mail. The lady told her that she need to get some lotion and lotion down lotion down her ashy ankles. And I'm just like, Issa just cannot catch a break. So she decides to come up with this idea to throw a kickback. Well, she called it a wine down, but basically it's where you invite some friends over and you tell them to invite some friends over and just chilling out, you're sipping on wine, got some little hors d'oeuvres out and listening to some music and just chatting and chilling and carrying on. So her plan is to let Lawrence know that he has the mail and that she's going to be home at the time that she's doing this wind down, and for him to come over, and get his mail, because she'll be available. And let me tell y'all something, it rarely ever works out that way. And what I love about this show is that I'm much older than Issa in the setting of this show, but the games remain the same. Like nothing has changed on the dating scene except for now you picking men out on an app instead of actually going out and socializing and meeting men in public. And so in my 20s, I have planned, to be at his favorite bar with my girls when I know he's going to happy hour and, stopping by his mom's house, 20 minutes before, on the day that he usually comes over to visit her, and, continuing to invite his one friend, who thought that I was perfect for him and meant to be with him, to come over to my cookouts and whatever little shindigs I was having at the time. But like I say, it never works out, because as soon as they see you there, they're turning and going the other way, and they're not listening to their friend tell them, oh man, she was a great catch. You should have stayed with her. Why don't you give her another chance? They're not even trying to hear any of that. And unless a man really wants to be with you, you might as well just cry your tears and move on, because if you are not what he wants, he ain't coming back. So Issa and her co-worker Frida, they have graduated from middle schools, and now they're trying to do their program in a high school. And so it looks like the demographics are predominantly Hispanic at the school that they're at, and the teachers aren't the least bit interested in helping them, because the classroom that Issa and Frida was in, the lady said that like she was paying no attention to the class, paying no attention to them. And then when they asked her for her help after the class ended, she was like, look, I'm the art teacher and they got me filling in teaching geography, so I need to go study chapters 1 through 5 so I can teach this class come tomorrow. And so she is, kind of defeated. So she lost her man, and now she can't get through to these kids, which is what her job is all about. And when you're working for a nonprofit, you got to deliver. They're going to get rid of your behind. So the night of the wind down, Issa is in complete overreacting mode. Like, she is trying to figure out what she's going to wear, what she's going to say when Lawrence get there, what's the sexiest pose she can do when giving him the mail. And she's just like, she's excited, she's nervous, she's doubting herself. She's like going through all these emotions, because she's thinking like, okay, this is my one chance to talk to him and let him know that I'm sorry, I'm not a cheater no more, I realize I made a mistake, and baby, I need you to come home. So the party is a bit of a dud, and Issa, she invited her brother to be her +1, and Molly was looking at her like, are you serious? You invited your brother? And so he brings a little excitement to the party. So when the doorbell rings, Issa is praying that it's Lawrence, but it wasn't. So she was like so deflated at that moment. So Lawrence ended up texting Issa that he can't come over, and for her to just send him the mail because she knows that he's staying with Chad. And so she's all depressed, and when Molly, finds out about her plan, that, she helps Issa see the ridiculousness of the idea. And she's like, and what were you going to do when he got here? Like, you got a house full of people, we drinking and carrying on, like, what were you going to do, and introduce him to the guys at the party? Like, girl, get over yourself. This was so crazy. And isn't that the great part about having that one honest friend, that one true friend that will tell you when you're making a complete fool out of yourself? So the party is crashed by some guy from the neighborhoods, and this scene was so funny because when Issa and Molly was standing outside on the balcony talking, Kelly came out and she was drunk. She had done, finished off the bottle of cheap wine that Issa had bought. And so these 3 guys are walking by, and then she was like, have you ever been burped before? And like, the boys look like they could have been 18 or 19, too young to be coming up there to that party. But she invited them up to the party, so they came up, and then they was kind of like setting it off because they had the weed, and so Molly and them wanted some of the weed, so kind of relaxing everybody. Then the guys from downstairs, and I think it's the guy that has the little girl, I'm not sure, but remember the guy that had the little girl, and he was trying to tell Lawrence, I got some bitches for you, that I can hook you up with. Well, I think it was him and some of his friends. They came up, and one of the guys was, so what is it, Crips? And so the Crips are blue and the Bloods is red. But anyway, he put his music on, and then he started doing the blood walk, which was like the Crip walk, but they was cutting up in that party, and then things got all out of hand, and they drinking, doing drugs, and then somebody set a fire in the garbage can, and the neighbor came up, upset that they had this loud music going on. So like I said, with the building being under new management, Issa might be looking for a new place to stay. So when this fire started, everybody ran out except for Molly and her brother. So they was trying to help her put the fire out, and then Issa was just looking at food was all over the floor, empty wine bottles, like they had destroyed, just totally trashed her apartment. And so her whole idea, the party, the getting Lawrence over there, it was all an epic fail for poor Issa. Then she was at work, which I'm assuming must have been that Monday because I think the party was Friday night. So her colleagues are ready, to jump ship because they think that working, with high schoolers is hopeless. That at least with the middle school kids, they hadn't given up on their education altogether. So their boss agrees with it, and she agrees to reassign the other employees that were working at the school and send them back over to a middle school. But Issa, she doesn't want to give up on the kids, and so the boss agrees to let Issa and Frida keep trying to come up with a plan to reach the kids. Now, when your boss is quoting Ice Cube's, you can do it, put your back into it, you may want to rethink your employment. But I like Issa's boss, she could be tripping at times, but she always, listens to Issa and what, Issa wants to do. So Molly finally decides to go see a shrink, and now if she could just find one to tell her what she wants to hear, she'll be okay, because she was in with this black lady, and the lady was trying to get her to open up. So when Molly, was like, yes, no, and would divulge to the lady what her problem was, the lady said, well, why don't we switch seats, and then I can tell you all my problems and let you figure out what's going on. But then we find out when Molly and Issa are together and they were out running one morning that this wasn't the first psychiatrist that Molly then tried to deal with. She was like the third or fourth, and the rest of them had then gave up. But I hope Miss Black Lady don't give up on Molly and help her with her issues. So while at work, Molly, the girl that she shares the office with that's married to Jamal, she had to leave early, and so she asked Molly to do a call for her. So Molly, being the good employee, always willing to help and go the extra mile, she is on the conference call when this probably was an intern or something comes knocking on the door acting all nervous. So she's there to bring Molly her mail. So Molly opens one of the envelopes and pulls out a check, and the check was for like $6,400 or something. And so she's like, oh my God, thinking she had got a bonus, but it turned out to be one of the other attorneys' paycheck. So now she's all in her feelings, like, how the hell he making this much more money than me? So one of the other, I don't know if she was a partner but it was a higher level lawyer in the firm. She was being transferred to their Chicago office. Hannah was her name. And so they were giving her a going away party. So they're all at the party and they're drinking, and Molly's trying to bring up the whole sexism thing and, just dropping fillers. And so one of the black guys was letting her know that no, it wasn't the black guy. They were talking about working in Chicago and how the weather is. So then Molly got up and went to the guy whose check it was that she found. So she's like, hinting around and, trying to figure out, did he get a bonus? Did he get a raise, or what's going on? So the guy's like, no, I didn't ask them for no raise because they might want me to do extra money. So she figures out that check was his base pay. And I'm thinking the check said that his annual salary was $122,000. So probably the going rate, like the low end for an attorney out in California, might be like $90,000 maybe, because I think it's like $60-some thousand here. So Molly's probably making like $20,000 to $30,000 a year less than this white guy. So when she was at the kickback party or the wind down party, she was in her feelings again, and so she was like sharing with Kelly and the other girl, that she feels like she's being taken advantage of, so they all drunk and they telling her, girl, go in there and demand what you want. Let them know, that they can't be treating you this way. And I'm thinking, okay, Molly, you go on in there and get your feelings hurt and lose your job. You got to be strategic about this thing. So then we move over to Lawrence. And so the first scene that Lawrence is in, him and Tasha are in the bed. Now I'm thinking if Lawrence was putting it down with Issa, the way that he's putting it down on Tasha, they wouldn't have no problems in their relationship because Issa would have been dick whooped by now. But he was banging it hard, and she was calling him Zaddy. I thought she was saying daddy, but then when they fell apart, was trying to catch their breath, he was like, oh, that's so cute, you were saying daddy with the Z. So she was like, oh, did you like that? And they're actually cute together, and they seem to have a lot of chemistry. But I know we want Lawrence to get back with Issa, and if he doesn't get back with Issa, then we need Issa to find her another replacement and find it soon. So Lawrence seems to have fallen into, quite a routine with Tasha. And he basically shows up on Friday evenings when he gets off from work, have sex with her all weekend long, and then he goes back to Chad's apartment on Sunday nights. So he was getting ready to go. He told Tasha, he said, oh, I'll probably see you on Friday. So she was like, well, can we go out? Or she wanted to do something Thursday night. And he was like, oh, no, I'll be back here on Friday. So she was like, okay, well, maybe I'll be here. And I'm like, Tasha, you're going to be there waiting for him. So when he was back home with Chad, he blowing up his air mattress, sleeping on Chad's floor. And I had to laugh because a friend of mine let another friend stay with her. And she was sleeping on the air mattress in the living room. And I was just like, I don't know if I could do that. But anyway, Chad is talking to Lawrence and basically telling Lawrence that if you're not going back to Issa, why not try to be serious with this girl and make it work? And then he was like, oh no, we're good. And he said, but you haven't even taken her out on a date yet. Like, you just going over there having sex with her. And so, Lawrence gives that same generic, excuse that all men do. Like, oh, but it's cool. She doesn't expect much. And we just filling each other out. But men, when women really like you, they really think, like, it's some women that think that, keeping you satisfied in bed is enough to get you to want to be with them. Like, you ain't doing nothing for them. But they think if they keep having sex with you. And I was telling my youngest daughter recently, because she was liking this guy. And I was like, well, do y'all ever do anything together? Do y'all go out to dinner? Do you go to the movies? And she was like, yeah, we go out to dinner. And she's going to kill me for telling this. And she was like, yeah, I go out to dinner. And then I said, yeah, now when I say go out to dinner, I'm not talking about going to a fast food restaurant and picking up a sandwich, or maybe y'all was out one day at the store and y'all decided to sit down in the fast food restaurant. I'm talking about, has he ever said to you, hey, babe, let's go to whatever restaurant, like a nice sit-down restaurant, with some candles on the table and all of that. So she got mad and she was like, wait, they ain't even like that, mama. And I was like, okay, I'm just saying. Like, don't become that girl who settles for less just to say that you have a guy in your life. So she get mad with me with all my advice. But, I tell my kids, I went through it, so you don't have to. Listen to what I'm telling you, and you will save yourself a lot of grief. Finally, Lawrence decides to take Chad's advice, and he invites Tasha out on a date, and she was so happy that he had did that. And I was like, oh, that's good. Yeah, y'all try to build something here and be more than just, sex partners, because Lawrence needs to be out of the apartment to give Chad and his fiance some time alone. Don't be that person that allows him to just come up and lay up in your apartment over the weekend and don't give anything back in return. So the show ends with Issa, and she's walking around her messy apartment, and all she had on was probably was like the shirt she had worn to work that day, and maybe she had taken off her pants because she had on like the boy short underwear, and she's walking around the house looking around like she about to clean up when the doorbell rings. And so it's Lawrence, and he's showing up to get the mail. And when she opened the door, he was like, oh, okay, so this is what I've been missing. And it's so funny how they let us see Tasha in all her pride and glory, you know, and she got the big butt and the perky titties and everything. And here's Issa, you know, she's flat chested, flat behind, you know, little box shape. And I think Issa is a beautiful girl, but you know, she is that average shaped girl. Like she ain't, you know, she ain't the ghetto style around the way girl. And so, you know, she's turning Lawrence on nonetheless, even though he had all that back at the apartment. And so he tells her, she gives him the mail, and then he tells her, oh, I got some stuff in the bathroom that I need to go get. And so when he comes back out of the bathroom, she's like standing there, and then he pretend like he about to go out the door, but then he come back and, you know, he kisses her, and then he throws her down on the sofa and pounds her for like 20 seconds. And I mean, I'm being generous with the 20 seconds. Like, he dropped his pants, didn't even take them all the way off, rammed up in her, humped about 10 times, then got up, went to the bathroom, cleaned himself up, came back out, and kissed Issa on the cheek and say, I gotta go. I'll see you later. I'm like, Dad, you couldn't even bring her a ride back to clean herself up. You couldn't say, I'm sorry, or, you know, that shouldn't have happened. He was just like, I gotta go, and walked out. And I'm just like, dang. So, you know, Issa's sitting there on the sofa, and so she got this little smile on her face because, like, she knew that was downright dirty and nasty what they had just did, but it was giving her some hope, and that's all we ever want when it comes to the man that we love, is just a little bit of hope, just a little bit of light under the door, letting us know that there is still a chance that we can get back into your good graces. So, this is basically a lesson in what it looks like when a good man goes bad. So ladies, if you got a good man, no matter what you're going through, don't go out there and tip out on them and get a nicky to somebody else, because there's a lot of things that they will forgive you of. But when they know that somebody else is getting their stuff, even though they may be giving your stuff to somebody else, they can't stand the thought that you might be sleeping with somebody else. So guys, that was it for me. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought about the episode, what you thought about the recap, if there was anything that I forgot to cover. Leave the comments below. Rate the video. Subscribe to the channel. And you can do all of that below. And I shall talk to you guys next time. Take care. And, oh, Mary Jane, Being Mary Jane is up tomorrow night. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.